All right, I'm about to get started. Forget it. All right, so here is the video that is almost at 3 million views on YouTube. So, and I'm about to react to it. After all the shootings and gang Nobody comes to this neighborhood after it fell apart. After all the shootings and gang wars over territory, drugs, and money, people started to move out. I was a part of that life, and this was my childhood home. Some of you know that I've been waiting on the neighborhood to get better so I can buy the house that I grew up in. I see people coming back, so this might be an opportunity to rewrite my story. Nobody comes to. So if you got any questions about what I said in that video and what it is, feel free to let me know because I'm about to talk about it. So basically, growing up in Detroit, like I said, we didn't really have like colors where it was like, oh, this color versus this color red, or you know how you hear Chicago with Lil Durk and Chief Keef and all them. When we grew up, it was more neighborhoods. I'm from Dexter and Linwood. I'm from, uh, I'm from Zone 8. I'm from, Puritan. I'm from Finkel. And that's what it was. So people from these opposing neighborhoods would be beefing with each other. And then it was all about like money and power. You ever seen Snowfall? Remember when Homeboy was working for the government? That's when Homeboy was working for the government, that's how they were like funding all that with Franklin. So that's kind of what happened in my neighborhood. So there's conspiracies about, well, it's not a conspiracy. You can actually Google it. The war on drugs, right? I ain't trying to say too much because they're gonna demonetize, and I'm not trying to get demonetized. Um, so if you Google it, a Ronald Reagan apparently was funding the American war like that. So you can look it up. But I was a product of that. I grew up under that, and I didn't have any control over if I was gonna make it out of that as a kid. It was like that's all I seen. Imagine growing up somewhere like, imagine the kids in Africa, right? You know how kids grow up in Africa and then they are forced to be in poverty and do whatever they got to do to survive. Imagine that. That's what it was like for me. Or let's say you white. Let's say you a white kid growing up in like a trailer park. A lot of the stuff going on around you, that's all. I mean, it's different, obviously, but imagine being born into that, and that's all you know. Like that's all you know. That's all you see. So you might get hooked on stuff. You might be pulled in to live a certain lifestyle. So eventually, people started, getting hooked or whatever. That's one scenario. And then they ended up not being able to pay they bills and their mortgages, and they probably got foreclosed now. Some people moved out because of the violence and the amount of crime that was going on. So like if you in a neighborhood and like somebody said, is there any like I gotta be careful because my stuff do be kind of edgy, but I do gotta be careful so I don't get demonetized. You know what? Like yeah, it was a lot of that. So if you constantly experiencing that, some people just move. There was also a lot of people, not making it out, if you know what I mean. So like it was so much going on in the neighborhood that people was just moving out, either foreclosing on their homes, people getting arrested, and it was a lot. It was a lot of different combinations of things that made it fall apart. I keep saying myself glitch. I'm wondering if I should get off this Wi-Fi. Remember, make sure like you can. I want y'all to ask questions, and if you can, like throw some super chats up. If you could throw some super chats up, like it can be $5, a dollar, whatever, right? Just so I can do this more. If I'll love to do this more if I can, you know what I mean, like more consistent and not have to work other things just so I can hop on here and talk. But yeah, so it was like every day for me, it was like I didn't know if I was gonna make it out of this neighborhood. I did not know if I was gonna make it out. You know what I mean? You just see. So I never try to paint this image that it was always like this, but some nights it was normal, right? It was particularly the summers. So I'm about to put it this way. It was like at first it was like we outside barbecuing. It was like fights, it was dancing. It was like us running up and down the street riding our bikes. But then when the summertime hit, that's when it got rough. So like every day wasn't like that, but there were like times where it was like that, right? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved my community. I loved my neighborhood, like the barbecues, the cookouts. Our house felt like everybody can come over there. Like if we, it was like one big safe haven in that community. And that was the sad part. Like you had the really good people, like the grandmas, you had my mama, you had all these good people who just really wanted family and they wanted to raise their kids, but then it was like it was so much stuff going down that it was like we got caught in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like we got caught in the middle of it. You have really good families, and there's still like some families over there, but not as many. It's like a few. So we got caught up in the middle of it because, it was like we was trying to just live, and I was trying to go to school, but on my way to school, people would be like, "Hey, what hood you from, bro?" And I was new over there when I was young, and I was like, "Man, I don't rep no hood," so they'd try to jump me, and then I had to fight. I had to defend myself, and the more I defended myself, the more that they respected me. It was like, "Okay, bet you can roll with us now." So imagine that I was in elementary school. Imagine being in elementary, and this is what it's like growing up in the inner city, right? It's like from a young age you get introduced to like crews and cliques. Even when I didn't want it, it came to me because we lived there because we was in poverty, because my mama's parents was in poverty. And then my great grandma came from the south to um escape like all the segregation and the discrimination. So she moved to Detroit, and then they find a spot that get hit with the, war on drugs. And then, my grandparents get hooked on it. And then my mama is trying to fight and get away from it. So it was like a chain reaction. So I'm honestly one of the first people in my family to get out of it. My granddad been trying. I want to interview my granddad because he like the GOAT, like for real. He really do got like pool in Detroit. But it was like, it was just like, I'm one of the first people, and that's why I gotta do this, y'all. Somebody said black neighborhoods ain't the same, meaning like ain't the same as they used to be. But honestly, y'all, this is why it's important for me to do this. This is why it's important for me to raise this money, because it's hard for somebody like me, right? I know people who are real estate investors, and they either got parents that's rich, or like they come from that life. They come from a background where they already got money. Also, it's politics. So people who own property in Detroit is a 80 something percent black city. The last time I looked, and there's not a lot of like blacks that own property in Detroit. And I'm one of the few. I mean, there is, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of black businesses out there, and I'm about to try to highlight all of them on my TikTok and stuff like that. I'm about to try to highlight as many as I can on my TikTok. But it should be way more with it being an 80% black city. You got Quicken Loans and Dan Gilbert taking over downtown, but it should be like, yo, where's the black footprints downtown? So here's the point. It's hard because it's only the street guys. Let me get off this Wi-Fi. Hold on. Okay, because honestly, it's usually the street guys who have money to buy this property. Or it's the athletes who come back and buy property, but they can't really be in the neighborhood because they athletes. You know what I mean? They can't just be over there when they rich and millionaires hanging out like that, right? And then it's also, let's say, people who come from out of town. So there's a huge population, I think, from Asia. It's a huge population from, I think, Asia or whatever, that's buying and sitting on property. And don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I hear a lot of like Asian investors hold on to property in Detroit, just because they know like it's a lot of vacant land. So I've been hearing that. I don't know like the full details on all that, but I work in real estate. I'm working on getting my license. But they say it's people overseas that do it. And I think that it's a lot of French people moving in. So the neighborhoods I hang out in Detroit, like West Village, just a lot of people that's like French. They speak French. Also, when you look at the businesses in Detroit, we got like one strip in Detroit where it's like black owned. And I want to start highlighting more of that. So with this By the Block project, the key to me really developing this neighborhood is to involve other, black businesses. Like I just contacted a dumpster company. So they going to come out and they're going to like provide a dumpster service for me to clean up. And then I'm going to shout their business out, right? And I know some people gonna say, "Oh, why you gotta? Why only? It's not only black people." I know somebody gonna say that. It's like, no, well, we want to support black-owned businesses as well, just as anybody, right? But I do want to make sure I'm highlighting the black businesses as well. So yeah, and it's not like it's not like I'm saying, oh, this specific race or this specific group. It's just like if people have money in general. I'm not saying like a specific race. I'm saying whoever got the money, they're buying it, and it just happens so that like they were saying, people. I was like, oh, who owns this property? Oh, some people over in Asia or some, whatever, right? So, oh, it's Detroit Dumpster. I think it's Detroit Dumpster. So I haven't met them yet. I want to do it when they actually come work with me. You know what I mean? So when they come work with me, I'm gonna vlog it on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, and then I'm gonna post it on my TikTok and on my Instagram. So I'm gonna be showing y'all the whole process and actually, like, let's say Friday or whatever, I'm going over there to do some work or whatever. I'm going to have a local business support us or sponsor us with like some pizza or something like that, right? Let's say it's like a local pizza shop. So what happens is in these communities, it fall apart because of all that. Like when y'all watch these movies, this stuff be real, y'all. I promise y'all, this stuff be real. When y'all watch these 50 Cent movies, Power, when y'all watch Raising Kanan, this stuff be real. I promise y'all. Like, just the stuff that be happening in the neighborhoods, like you would never like imagine that stuff being real. And it was like my life was like a movie. I got a song called Warzone where I talk about it all. And just talking about like everything I seen growing up in the neighborhood. But it was like a kid like me making it out is big. And trust me, I don't know like how long I'm gonna be here. I don't know, everything, but I'm gonna do everything I can. I think already I've showed a lot. Like let's say from this point on out, like I already believe that I've already done a lot and already showed and inspired people. But you gotta think, the mayor's office told me like, oh, we can't really help you too much until you prove that you can fix up this first property. Okay, the first property was $6,500, the first house in 4 lots. But the renovation cost is gonna be like $150,000. So you gotta think like $150,000, like who gonna afford that? And I know people who come from rich families already. That's like, oh yeah, my dad can loan it, or my cousin, or the family can loan it, or this business can loan it because my dad is connected to this people, and then they loan it, and then they get that renovated. But somebody like me, like I will be honest, because I have 1 million followers on TikTok, it helps. That's how I'm getting a lot of like my support. But the average person who come from these neighborhoods can't really do that because it's like it shouldn't take being somebody who got 1 million followers to be able to pull this off. And that's honestly how I'm doing a lot of this because of my following, right? And because of my network. But it's hard to get that. Not everybody, like you got to have really good verbal skills. Let's say if you somebody like me who don't have 1 million followers and you want to buy property. Learn your stuff. That's one thing I learned because somebody told me, even though I got the followers, learn my stuff. Because if you know your stuff, you know what you're talking about, you know your numbers, you know how to manage your money, learn real estate, you could pull it off. And then you build connections, go out and network with people. And trust me, when I walk in rooms, people look at me like, who this guy think he is? Oh, he don't know his stuff. Oh, look at this guy with these dreads, blah, blah, blah. And then the moment I get to talking, they like, oh, wait, what? So like the point is, you gotta know your stuff. With or without the followers, I gotta know my stuff. So like you always gotta know your stuff. That's the big thing. Let's say you somebody who don't got like who not rich, who if you have a plan and a vision and you know your stuff, you can get out there and network. Cause all it's gonna take is really one person. Cause I met one person who started introducing me to all these people, and that's how I really got plugged in. And I had to know my stuff, obviously, and I ain't know everything. You ain't got to know everything, but apply yourself. This lady who real successful in Detroit and commercial real estate told me like, no, facts, James. And that's with anything. This lady who sell all these commercial properties in Detroit told me like, go take this real estate class, and then I'll let you help me open my office. And then I was like, oh, okay, bet. So I went and did that. And next thing you know, I'm helping her with her office. I still haven't passed my real estate test yet, but I've been studying, going to take it. Man, I took that test like 6 times already, y'all. It is brutal. And that's because I'm new to this, to be honest. But it's like, to come from where I come from, a lot of people don't even get to see this type of life. So it's like, I can't give up, even if I didn't pass the test. I gotta raise this $250,000. Side note, if you want to help me raise money, you can get this By the Block shirt. I'm gonna include it in the description, where you can go cop one in the description or whatever. I'm gonna include this in the comments in the video. Also, make sure y'all like this video real quick. Let's get up to it's 9 likes. Let's try to get one more to get 10. But yeah, like real talk though. So as I continue to post these shorts, they doing numbers, and I'm about to just continue to like go live, and I'm gonna try to do another vlog soon, and then y'all gonna see me throwing content up heavy. Cause it's like people gotta see this, you know. People really gotta see like the process of how to do this, you know, and what it takes. Because these skills translate to everywhere. Once you learn how to do real estate like this is gonna translate to business. It's gonna translate everywhere. So I'm gonna keep doing this stuff, and I'm gonna keep throwing these videos up. But I just kind of wanted to hop on here and do a response to that video that's going viral right now. Let's get one more like on this video. Let's get one more. But I wanted to hop on here and do a response to that video just to kind of break it down a little bit. And then if I get any more questions on this video, I'm going to go live and talk about it some more. And I had to test out the new microphone. I'm so geeked that I got a new mic, y'all. Like, this is crazy. So I'm going to include the shirts. Like I said, it'll help go towards the renovation cost. So much love. I'm about to jump off here. Comment in the comments of this video, and then I'm going to do some more follow-ups. I'm about to be going hard on the content. Y'all about to see me on the block posting so many videos. If you want to see the day-to-day process, I got to go to the office tomorrow to actually register. I think it's my title. And I'm about to post a video of how I do that. Y'all about to see the step-by-step of me pulling this off, raising $250,000, everything. If y'all want to see that, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and we out.